What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below as it's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. We got a lot to talk about here. Russian President Vladimir Putin has sent out a nuclear threat. That's right. We got a new stimulus check update for you here as well. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about here for you guys. Let's jump right in. Yeah, World War III does kind of make it seem like it is a real possibility here. You can see here Russia makes nuclear threat to Sweden and Finland over whether they'll join NATO here today. And remember, if they join NATO, they're officially part of NATO, and United States is part of NATO, and 30 other countries. Sweden and Finland are considering joining NATO because, well, they're seeing what Russia is doing to Ukraine, and they're not part of NATO, and now they're realizing that maybe they should be. And as soon as they kind of said this, Russia threatened them with nukes. Yeah, Russia said here today they will have to bolster their defenses in the Baltic Sea, including a potential nuclear escalation if Sweden and Finland join NATO, Moscow said here today. Yeah. They said, quote, there can be no more talk of a nuclear-free status for the Baltic. The balance must be restored. Dmitry Medvedev, the deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council and former president of Russia, said, Reuters reported here today. Until today, Russia has not taken such measures and was not going to. If our hand is forced, well, take note, it was not us who proposed this, he added, according to Reuters. Medvedev's warning came as Sweden and Finland seem closer than ever before to joining the Western Alliance known as NATO. Yeah, this comes as Sweden plans a NATO application, and Sweden and Finland both would join together potentially. Their prime ministers held a joint news conference in Stockholm yesterday, with Finnish Prime Minister Sanna Marin saying the country would decide within the next few weeks on NATO membership, and Sweden Prime Minister saying her country is making the same calculation, and they share a significant land border with Russia. Quote, the current Russian threat looks quite strange when we know that even without the present security situation, they keep the weapon 100 kilometers from Lithuania's border. Nuclear weapons have always been kept in Kaliningrad, the international community, the countries in the region. They are perfectly aware of this. They use it as a threat. The Russian threat is nothing new. Kaliningrad is a very militarized zone. They have been for many years, and it is in the Baltic region already. Yeah, this comes as Russia is basically threatening any country they can here lately to not join NATO. And this comes as also Russia has been threatening any country they can to stay out of Russia's affairs. And honestly, if Russia didn't have nukes, NATO and other countries would have probably already stepped in and ended this war, ended Putin's war. But because they have nukes, this is a very delicate situation. Yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but it's a very, very different situation here. The real question here is that would Putin actually use nukes on anybody. And if they did, well, that would literally be worst case scenario, and would not be good news for anybody. Honestly, this whole war has not been good news for anybody. And a big part of the war has been rising prices here on gas and food. You can see here, Larry Summers says that recession in the US is now the most likely outcome for the US economy and not a soft landing. That's right. In fact, a lot of people think that the US is already headed for a recession or maybe even already in a recession here in the United States. Yeah, and many people like Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary, think he's right. In fact, a lot of people are now saying that a recession is right around the corner or already starting because of inflation and rising interest rates. In fact, home interest rates have just topped 5% for the first time in years. U.S. mortgage rate interest rates top 5%. Buyers look to lock in interest rates. Um, this is a significant thing here. This is the highest level since November of 2018. This comes as the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates, and they plan to raise interest rates 6 more times here in 2022 alone of at least 1/4% more, possibly even 0.5% more in the next interest rate rise. So, yeah, we could be seeing another 1.5% or more of an interest rate rising this year alone. And compared to what interest rates were just several months ago, this could cause anybody with a variable interest rate in a home loan, or that is recalculating, or somebody that is going to refinance and could have got that lower rate. This could cause people to spend tens of thousands of dollars more, or potentially even more, compared to if they would have got that lower rate over the course of many years. Tens of thousands of dollars more in interest. So, and for many people, this will mean hundreds of dollars more in payment. So it is a significant deal, and for people, for credit card interest, this is going to make credit card interest rates go up as well, because those are variable interest rates as well. So yeah, this is also kind of the cost of rising interest rates, and not only that, also food, gas, everything is going up. Everything.
Prices on everything from gas to groceries to housing are still rising at a rapid pace. The government says inflation rose 8.5% from March 2021 to March 2022. That's the largest annual increase since 1981, with prices rising more than 1% between February and March. The driving force behind the recent price spikes in high oil and gas prices are because of the war in Ukraine. AAA says the national average for regular now $4.08 a gallon, down 25 cents from last month. However, looks like we still may be paying an average of about $3.84 a gallon for gas this summer. With us now, Diane Swonk, chief economist for the audit, tax, and advisory firm Grant Thornton, and an advisor to the Federal Reserve. Diane, it's great seeing you. This spike in inflation is pretty much across the board on everything, but food is up 8.8%. What's going on there?
Yeah, it really is stunning to see the rise in food prices, especially at the grocery store. That's actually up at a double-digit rate, 10%, and across the board, a lot of double-digit increases. There's so many factors going into that, not the least of which is, of course, the transportation costs that escalated during the month and made it more expensive to deliver food to our grocery stores and to restaurants and bars out there. But more importantly, we're losing a lot of grain, soybean, corn production out of Russia and Ukraine happening due to the war, and it's triggering what could be a global hunger situation, which is very bad. You layer that on top of disruptions we had early on in the pandemic in, meat processing plants and the proteins, pushing up proteins out there. And now we're losing much livestock to the bird flu as well, globally and in the U.S. All of this is pushing up the prices of food as well, along with extreme weather events, unusual climate, a drought in California, all of those things combining to give us this really horrific inflation situation that goes beyond just energy and food, but also is showing up in things like services now that we're out traveling and trying to congregate again as human beings, catching up on weddings that were delayed during the crisis. We saw hotel room rates surge during spring breaks, airline fares surge. We've also seen things like, going to sporting events and going to the movies again. These are all things that were once part of everyday life. But as we reopen the doors, we're finding it's much harder to reopen the economy than it was to shut down. And the costs have been staggering.
Yeah. I mean, Diane, when we look at that CPI graph that we have there, I mean, everything has really gone up, and it's gone up substantially. Food, almost 10%. Look at gas. I mean, that's out of control. But, rent, 5%. Electricity, almost 12%. Try buying a car, new or used. Good luck on that. This is not something that started with the war. What is happening, and is this our new reality for the time being?
Well, sadly, I believe that we are seeing this going to be lingering. It may cool off a bit, but not enough to be cool to the touch. It will still sear and, burn us and leave blisters. And I think that's what's so important. What I'm most concerned about is that shelter costs that you noted. Much of the rise in rents and rise in home ownership costs that we've seen over the last couple of years don't show up in the CPI for a year after they've actually happened, which means we've got a lot of that inflation still to show up in the measurements of inflation. We've probably already been experiencing it, but it has to show up in the measurements. And that's where you hit everything, all the basics, food, shelter, and the cost of commuting.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date. Also, another state that I haven't updated on here that I need to is the state of Indiana. As you can see here, the state of Indiana says an estimated 4.3 million Hoosiers will get something extra in their bank accounts this summer. Governor Eric Holcomb says that Hoosiers should start receiving their $125 automatic taxpayer refund in the coming weeks. This has already been passed, and the governor says that they will start receiving this in the coming weeks. The coming weeks. You can see it directly here on the screen. The governor said the money is effectively a 12% cut in the average Hoosier's annual income tax liability. Approximately $545 million will be returned to taxpayers after the state ended its fiscal year with a surplus, triggering the automatic tax refund of $125, as you can see here. So this is you file a state tax refund for the state of Indiana, and the governor says that will be coming out here in the coming weeks, provided that you have filed the state tax return for Indiana. Married couples who file jointly are expected to receive $250 because it's for two people. Quote, I'm beyond thrilled that this spring and summer we're returning money back into the hands of Hoosier taxpayers where it belongs, the governor said in a statement. Our conservative fiscal leadership and pro-growth policies makes this tax refund possible for all Hoosier households. The state revealed back in December that Indiana taxpayers would receive it after filing their 2021 taxes. The Department of Revenue and auditors of state office will work together to distribute the money. Most of the payments are expected to come via direct deposit. Some taxpayers will get a check mailed to them instead. And they will start hitting in the bank accounts at the beginning of May and continue through July. The state expects mail checks to start in July. As we all know, direct deposits always come first. It's just kind of they always happen earlier. The refund is separate from any money Hoosiers may have received if they're filing their individual state income tax. Holcomb said no additional action, is required for Hoosiers to receive their money as long as you have filed a state tax return. Yeah, so that's just the latest state to send out $125 stimulus checks or tax refunds here. So yeah, I will keep you up to date here on all these different states here doling out stimulus checks here as they continue to send out more money to their residents. Also, major news today, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, the founder of PayPal and the founder of Tesla electric vehicles, is attempting a hostile takeover of Twitter, calling the path painful. Tesla CEO, who recently became the social media company's largest individual stakeholder, is offering $50 per share of their stock and is offering $43 billion for Twitter and said this is his final bid. Take it or leave it. This is a much higher bid than the current share price of Twitter, which is currently at about $45 per share here today. So he's bidding $54 a share to buy the entire company. You can see Twitter was up 1.35% here today and 3.6% after hours here today as well. But he wants to buy the entire company for billions and billions of dollars. $43 billion worth. Twitter has 81 million followers, and since he says he believes the platform is essential to the functioning of democracy, he plans to take Twitter private going forward, saying he sees the platform as a way to foster conversation and the potential to even prevent international conflicts. But he acknowledges if he took ownership, he would be blamed for problems, and even before that, his bid could fail. He says, quote, "My strong intuitive sense is that having a public platform that is maximally trusted and broadly inclusive is extremely important to the future of civilization." He says, "I don't care about the economics at all," even though he's going to be paying $43 billion for it in a hostile takeover bid if he's able to buy the company and then take it private. Twitter confirmed the news here today and said that they received an unsolicited, non-binding proposal, and the Twitter board of directors will carefully review the proposal to determine the course of action that believes in its best interests of the company and all Twitter stockholders. Now, remember that Twitter is a major platform. I mean, presidents, including the former president who was banned from the platform, current President Biden, and even Vladimir Putin is somehow allowed to be on the platform. Our former president was banned, but Vladimir Putin is allowed to be on the platform. How that makes any sense, I can't figure that one out. You can let me know your thoughts on that one. But nonetheless, it is a very, very important speech platform, political platform, and like Elon Musk said, it does kind of shape our country's future and our world future, because literally presidents and major important figures in our world use it to get their message out. So like YouTube, like I'm here speaking to you, thousands and thousands of people every single day. Very important platform. So let me know your thoughts. I will keep you up to date here on a daily basis. Make sure to subscribe down below to our platform here on YouTube, as it's completely free to do so. All you got to do is click the subscribe button. It literally costs nothing. And this way you won't miss out on new videos. After subscribing, click the bell icon that appears after you subscribe. Remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date here with everything. You can click here to watch my newest video next, and click here to see my major update on multiple stimulus checks going on here in multiple states and on the federal level. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.